Hey everyone, this is 916 News. Hope you're having a good weekend. Sunday, February 9th. This is episode 5. This is just going to be a quick episode. I'm going to have 3 main topics. Talk about one other small local thing. First episode of Black History Month, yay. Talk about our 3 main stories. The coronavirus. Then second is going to be country of Colombia. And the third one's going to be a cool local story. So first is going to be about the coronavirus. Sadly, there's been 800 people as of now that have died in China. Also, in the world, 800 people have been killed, so there's a total of 1,600 people. The virus has only been around so the first case is just 2 months ago. Okay, so yeah, there's been 1,600 total people who have died from this. The problem with this virus is that authorities are stating that it's going to be a year before the vaccine is ready to go. So that's going to be a very big issue. There has been problems with sports and world industries. There have been reports about the Tokyo Olympics. It's near China and where this is happening that they could cancel the Olympics. But this virus has spread. There's cases. There's 2 in the Bay Area. There's been a few cases in the US. There's been cases in the UK. There's almost 100 people infected in Japan, the US, France, Germany. They have about a dozen. Thailand, Singapore, other Asian nations have about 25 cases each. It's all over the news, on the internet, social media. It's a big issue, but I don't think that it's going to be widespread in any country. In China, they have the community where it started. They have that quarantine, transportation shut down to that area. So they're doing their best to control it and work on it. And positive that things are going to be okay and disease is going to be handled how it should be, and it's going to get better. Okay, the second story is about Colombia. So Colombia is it's a dangerous country. A lot of reasons for that. Well, particularly one, there was a teacher killed by government supporters. This isn't really serious compared to some of the stories I talk about like the one I just did. This is a big issue because in the past 60 years, 1,579 teachers have been killed, and that's a lot. And the problem is that the government supporters and the government is stating that the teachers are making the kids and the youth liberal, and there's no proof that the teacher was doing that. And it's a very right-wing nation. It is democratic, so everyone gets to vote. So they have issues with the left wing. This teacher that was just killed was only 30 years old. It's scary and not okay that happened. And the final story for today is just some local news. There's a measure that could be on the ballot to vote in November about rent control, because Sacramento is one of the worst cities for rent being raised. But the mayor is saying that he doesn't want it to be on the ballot. He wants to review rent control policy and doesn't want this to become a big issue for this year. So we'll see if there's any update to that story. Also, the story I'm going to link to is a postal worker rescues a toddler from the side of the road. He had gone missing the night before, and his family then called the police. They got K9s, helicopters, drones. They did a search for him. It hadn't found him. Then this postal worker, he finds him. So it's a really cool story. They have an interview with I'm going to put the link in the description. Last thing before I leave is that I'm going to do 2 more videos in the next couple of days. One is just going to be an update video, episode 4 or 3, I don't know. I'm going to do that Kashmir video I've been talking about, and it's going to have 2 other pretty intense subjects on there too, just other countries, just because a lot of these stories have a lot to do with those 3 areas. and I haven't talked about it, so that way I can point back to that video. Have a good weekend. Forget Channel 10. Thanks for the view. This is 916 News.